What's up, everyone? It's your boy Zero Brew coming back at you with another video. Now, we have to thank our wonderful member of the Brew Crew, aka Troll from Below. Let me see if that's what her name is on this. It is Troll from Below. She has offered us to log into her account and help finish out her April build, but we got to give Troll from Below, valued member of the Brew Crew, all the love and support on this one, because she has gone and farmed the masteries during the last CVC that we just had that ended yesterday. She also went and grabbed all the Minotaur scrolls and stuff. So we get the opportunity to finish out building out this April, and we may re-gear her in a future video. This is the gear that she went with. I'll just go ahead and show the stats on this. And again, I don't want to go into the details of this because I think we have other champions to look at as well. So, but anyway, we're going to start this video. We're going to see what we can do with April O'Neil, and let's go from there.
Real quick, click the link in my description to get a free Karato as well as Annex, Ugo, and Mausoleum Mage as you level up. Here's how to do it. Log out of Player and Play on the PC and uninstall. Click the link in my description and register with a brand new email. Launch raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champion. Get an awesome start in Raid Shadow Legends with your free Karate Fox Hunter as well as 3 epic champions. Hit the link below and claim them today. I'll see you in the game. Woo!
Now, just real quick, we're going to go through the skills on April O'Neil. Now, she is built for temporal change. She has booked the champion, and she has a 4-star soul for this champion. So it's really good because she's getting the extra crit damage on this one. And I will say for the build, she's not at 100% crit rate on the masteries. And I think we do have to talk about the skills real fast. So passive, decrease all enemies' turn meters whenever an enemy has their skills activated, teams up to turns and all this stuff. That's a lot of words. I'm not here to read the words. What is cool is she does do an increased accuracy on a 4-turn cooldown here when it's booked. Also decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 20% and then grants an extra turn. So really it's a 3-turn cooldown because she gives herself an extra turn, and she does the increased buff on all allies. Now, we'll say because it grants an extra turn, it's only for 2 turns. In theory, you would think you maybe take lasting gifts and take a small percentage chance to do. We'll talk about that here in the mysteries to go mysteries in the masteries. To go from a 2 to a 3, because once you do this and take an extra turn, you will try to do this next skill, and then the increased accuracy is off of this champion, right? So attacks 1 enemy and then has a chance to place in the nullify and the seal debuff, and basically you're just going to lock out your champion. We talked about this before, but I think I want to pair this with Michelangelo, so we'll take a look at that as well to be able to spread that debuff to everyone, or these debuffs to everyone. So yeah, and then of course the A1 has a 50%, so it looks like 75% chance of placing the stun, freeze, sleep, provoke, fear, true fear, petrification on the target for 1 turn, and then places a perfect veil for them for 1 turn. So immediately I think ally attacks, also think of counterattacking and things like that. Maybe we put her in a counterattack set. I know she has a 4-piece feral here. Places the block debuffs, which is probably pretty huge right there. And again, I don't know what gear she has on the account, but we do have the masters to go with, so we could potentially do damage with April. And I think if you're going to use her in PvE a lot, maybe that's the way to go. She will have another reset after me booking this, but I do think what we want to do is probably come down here and get the retribution. Right, it has a 50% chance to counterattack when this champion loses 25% their max HP from a single enemy hit, and then has a 20% chance to counterattack an enemy and then apply stun, sleep, fear, true fear, freeze, petrification, or sheep debuff on the ally. So that is really good, right? Especially with that A1. Now, the one thing I was talking about was the lasting gifts. So you have a 30% chance of extending the duration of a buff. So that would be helpful. Again, you do the A3, you take an extra turn. You'll lose one of those, you'll do the nullify, and then if you're doing those counterattacks, you don't have the increased accuracy still up. So lasting gifts would be amazing, but I think because you have all these debuffs and you want to land these debuffs, pretty much want to go with the Eagle Eye and get the extra accuracy out of this champion. So I think lasting gifts will not be an option if we want to go with deterrence. Trying to decide. Let me think about this. Okay, so this is what I went with. We went with rapid response. There's a 30% chance of increasing the turn meter by 10% whenever a buff cast is expired, right? So she does have that increased accuracy that's going to expire. So I do lasting gifts, and that prevents that from going. Or we do this. So that's what I think we're going to do. That's okay. I think that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go with deterrence. So anytime any of your allies gets hit, she has a chance to counterattack and go in and hit with that A1. And then we also went with arcane celerity. I can't spell. The increased turn meter by 10% whenever a debuff is removed, right? And then of course a master hexer note, nullify. I'm a fly guy. Holla if you hear me. I don't know what that means, but nullify is not on this list, so we can do the debuffs on that right here. So nullify and seal aren't on that list. Some of these are, but it is what it is. I think we're gonna go with that route. Again, we got the temporal chains is what she decided to go with on this champion. Let's take a look at the turtles because she has Donatello and she has, let me just check. Okay, so we got Donatello not fully geared out, has not booked that one. She did book the other though. Yeah, so we got the masteries there for Donatello. And then of course, let's check out Michelangelo. So we got masteries here, reddish should go on the Michelangelo. Let's see what the gear are. Yeah, so I think we hold off on Donatello at least for now. Maybe we build a team with that. So I do want to do a part 2 of this series. So that will be coming. Let's do the masteries on Michelangelo. Let's take a look. Okay, so Michelangelo is going to be our nuker, at least for this, but then keep in mind that he does have the express delivery where he applies the debuffs, but then also has the debuff spread attack. Now, when we did this with Astrolith bombs are irresistible, and whenever you apply the debuff spread, that stat goes with those debuffs. So for Michelangelo, you're pairing with Astrolith, you don't need necessarily accuracy. However, to do all these other items, you will need accuracy on this. So I think we go down that support tree. Here's what we're going to go with. So basically, standard arena nuker build. Of course, I say standard when you need accuracy, right? And of course, we'll take Master Hexer at the bottom, but if we get the extra accuracy pieces, can't see behind my head, but we'll take the Helm Smasher here for the ignored defense, the chance of proccing that, and of course, a Ruthless Ambush and Cycle of Violence, everything down the list. And of course, Shield Breaker to break those shields if you need to, right? The main thing here is we want to make sure to get the debuff spread, which she does have some accuracy on this build. Only 196 on the speed, not 100% crit rate. I think what we'll do is we'll try to play around with the team right now, try to build something out real fast. And then again, I'm not familiar with this account. In the future, we're going to do a rebuild of these champions and try to get some better stats on them. And she's got 15 million silver, so we can do that here. We'll do a part 2 of this series with the follow-up, right? One more thing I want to check on the April, just make sure I wasn't going crazy, but she did, I think, book the skills. Yes, she did book the skills in April. All right, so let's see what team we can build. Don't know yet. So really just taking a look at this account, and again, I'm not familiar with it. She's pulled an amazing amount of mythicals, plus has some +1 ones. That's exciting to see. That's awesome. So I've never played with Galathier, so I think Galathier will come in and be our support. Probably love to pair Commodus in the future. God, 6-star awaken on these champions. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I love it. I love it a lot. Okay, sorry, I'm enamored at the moment. So yeah, so they would do Galathier. In the future, I think we do Commodus for the bombs and potentially spreading those bombs with Michelangelo. That would be awesome. But for the purposes of this one, we're going to spread the nullify and see what happens. Michelangelo will be a nuker. And then, I don't know, who else would you pick with this on this team? Just kind of scrolling through Yameko. We do some lockout. Well, we don't need to do lockout if she's doing nullify, right? Maybe Donatello is the way, but this gear isn't rolled out 100% yet. So maybe we do that in the next video. Volcanos too. She's got everything. I'm jealous of this account. What? So for reference, this is what she normally runs. Arbiter, 6-star awaken into a Galathier, into a Commodus, into nice. That is a banger of a team, if you will. All right, let's create our own little team here. Do we do attack up? Do we attempt to go first? Yeah, let's do that. Let's try that. So Galathier in here. All right, there it is. And yes, I'm taking a single target just to see. I want to see with the speeds and everything, just to see how all this works out. And I also want to see. Yeah, she's 28% speed in arena and battles. So let's just see what we get here. I'll take it off auto battle and let's just go into it. Let's see what happens. Really, the whole goal, you can tell I haven't done this yet. The whole goal is to get the lockout, I think. All right, I don't even know what Galathier. He can revive, removes all debuffs and play. Okay, we'll probably do that first. All right, so we can do that. And then, yeah, so she can do her, this is it. All right, so she's going to do her increased accuracy. So now everybody's got the increased accuracy. And then we're going to go with the nullify. Now, I will say I was mistaken about the increased accuracy, so we're going to have to go back and look at that. So maybe the increased accuracy goes after she gets extra turn because she still has it up for her A1. So we have been nullified here. This attack's probably going to kill this champion, but it would just spread the debuffs that are out there. And I like Michelangelo because he spreads all debuffs. I'm going to have to reread her kit. This is where words are good, right? Okay, so this is where I'm confused. Here's the skill. It says places an increased accuracy buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 20%. Then grants an extra turn. Then grants an extra turn. So I'm not sure how she still had the increased accuracy after the fact. And just to verify, we did not take lasting gifts. Maybe that's bug 2, or it's not written accurately. I don't know. Let's run it back in arena and see what we can get. By the way, she's at the top end of her thing here. Let's see which one's going to go first. If they go first, we are dead. Hopefully we get to go first. We do. Let's see. Maybe that was a glitch in the system. All right, here we go. All right, here we're going to do it again. Okay, so increase accuracy. Grants an extra turn, and it did not take her cooldown. Now, it did take the cooldown off of the attack up, right? So the attack up did go down, but the increased accuracy did not go down. I don't know if that's a bug or that's an intended effect. I like the effect. I want that to constantly stay like that. So we targeted Fabian here. Now, we don't want Fabian to die, but Fabian can't even go, which is kind of cool. And she's counterattacking with that A1. Now, let's spread these debuffs. Boom. Debuffs have been spread. Also, +2 on the nullify. I did not see if that was out there. Does he increase? I'm so confused. I'm seeing all kinds of stuff. You know what it is when I play, I just do the thing, right? And I just do the thing and we're dead. But cool, we did. Unless Galathier can do something he's not. I'm so confused. I'm so confused at what's happening. Hold on, I gotta look again. Okay, so again, I'm very confused, but it looked like to me the debuffs went up a notch on that, right? Because let me just go to recently used. I don't know this. Oh, unless the Master Hexer procced. Maybe the Master Hexer procced. All right, we're gonna have to watch it again. I apologize. Your boy Zare Brew is. In fact, I'm going to run the same team, even though they just killed us, because I want to see those same results again. Like I said, we did verify that we get to go first here. So let's try this again. All right, so April's going to go. Her decreased buffs and attack go down, but her increased accuracy did not go down. Very confused about that. All right, so we landed. Okay, so we did land Seal for 3 turns, and we landed Nullify for 2 turns, and then he's gonna now spread all that and get the kill. Boom, that has happened. Speaking of lockout, let's do that. By the way, we get the increased accuracy back up, so that's cool. We get to pair that with Galathier. So we got the increased accuracy back up and the resistance down. So she should be able to land all this stuff, and she doesn't necessarily need all that there. So let's just go ahead and try to land this on Arbiter. And she hit hard. Wow. She's not even crit capped. That was pretty cool to see. Let's block active skills because I don't trust what this dude's got going on. We might actually win this fight this time. Yeah, we won that fight that time. That's cool to run that same fight back. Let's see if we can handle bombs here. Hopefully we can go first. He does have the faster speed aura, and they are outspeeding us. And the good news is she did have the ability to stop that because of the feral set that she had on. Will stop the ability to get stunned, and she is counterattacking. So this is where that deterrence is paying off. So look at that. She is counterattacking and popping off on a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know why. Passive effect has 25% chance of activating explosive scoop skill on an enemy when they gain an extra turn or instant turn effect. If there are multiple champs on the team with this skill, only one will activate. By the way, so we just saw that in play, right? So Fabian gets an extra turn, and then she locked him out with the A2, and it says on this 25% chance of activating, but it just activated twice because what's his face does a self buff and then goes to place the bombs himself. So we saw that actually happen twice in this fight. And again, I realize that a lot of content creators go into these videos and they're like, oh, I know how to play this because they've done this. I haven't played with these champions at all. I'm learning with you as we learn. Now, we do have those debuffs out there, and I think we're gonna die. Only thing that maybe can still save us here is Galathier. But we're gonna pop this off, get the extra turn, and then, you know, we can maybe just do that to her because the other two are already locked out. Yeah, and there goes El Nino dead. All right, she hits hard. We didn't even go down the attack tree. She actually can smack. That's, I'm not gonna lie, that's a little impressive. We are locked out, but let's try to get some stuns on. We did get the stun on. Bombs blew up on our girl. That's fine. We're gonna block his active skill so he doesn't try to cool us down again. And you know what? Boom, we get to go again. And we're gonna do it to him again. Yeah, she hits really hard. I'm actually extremely impressed. I'm gonna have to double look at those stats again. By the way, it's my first time playing with the Galathier too. Not gonna lie, I love this champion. All right, so we did not land any debuffs on that one. Galathier can go. We can, I think, revive here. Yep, which is cool. Michelangelo gets picked back up out of the dirt. Come on, Mikey. Our procs on the polymorph are working, which is great. Bill's turn meter. Let's see. All right, attack up. Pop it like it's hot. And you know what? We get to go with the A1 here. Yeah, we're good. We're good. It's interesting to see. Well, first of all, I think we got lucky on that. If it is truly a 25% chance that passive works, I think we got insanely lucky. Let's just see how he hits with his A2 here. Not very good. I could have been a mistake. I should probably hit him with something a little harder. That's okay. Our girl Arbiter brings it home. I'm not gonna lie, I'm all in all very impressed. Yeah, so all in all, super impressed. I want to just take one more final look at different things. Now, she did build it to do damage. We did not go to down the damage tree, and I saw some big numbers going off on that. It looks like our reset just happened. So I'm gonna log off here in a second and give her account back while the reset just happened. But I do want to look at this again. It was 80% crit rate, so she's not crit cat, and she was hitting super hard on this, and we didn't even go down the damage tree again. So actually very impressed with the numbers that she's putting out. Again, final stats on this, not anything too terribly crazy. Of course, it is an attack-based nuker from that perspective. She does have the 4-star awakened soul here. So, you know, you got the crit rate going on. Very impressed. Also impressed with the increased accuracy for 2 turns, unless lasting gifts, but we didn't take lasting gifts. I already said that earlier. So that as it reads does not, maybe that's an announced thing and they say, oh, puts increased accuracy after the extra turn or something. I don't know, but that doesn't seem to be functioning as designed. All in all, super impressed. I like Michelangelo as well, and super impressed with Star Sage Galathier, but that's a different video. That being said, if you're still on the fence, it's not too late at the time of seeing this video. If you're still on the fence of going for April O'Neil, or you haven't skipped to your 200 over your 250 points to get the points, the pizza points to get her. I'm actually, after playing this out and seeing how much damage she can do and how the passive was going, I think we got extremely lucky that this procced twice. It procced on Shazar and Lord Fabian there. I think we got lucky on that, but I don't know. I'm like shocked at how hard she hits. I'm shocked. That's all I can say. So I am going for her. I think there's a lot of people that are possibly skipping this event. I say if you have the resources, she is bringing something to the game that only a handful of people have in terms of seal, and nobody has nullify yet. So she is bringing that. And again, of course, paired with our boy Michelangelo, he can spread that to all enemies. So all in all, very good. We are going to do a part 2 of this video, so stay tuned for that. We might re-gear these champions and just see how much more damage we can get out of them or whatnot, but look for that next week. And again, special shout out to Control4 below for letting us log in our account and do this. I'm your boy Zero Brew. We'll holler at you next time. Bye.